Hey everyone, welcome to another video and thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I know this year has been very difficult and trying for a lot of people. So in spite of all of that, I hope you guys were able to have a good holiday and enjoy the time with your friends and family. Hey, before I forget, I wanted to ask you guys that if you had any products that you were thinking about getting for the Model Y and you were kind of on the fence about because you weren't sure if it was going to be good or not, put them in the comments below. I'm already starting to shop for some things for the Model Y, and during this, I guess, Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, I'm going to try to pick up a couple things, and they might be something that I'm willing to take the hit on and try for you and let you know if they're any good or not. So, all right, as you can see by the title, as a new Tesla owner, and new to Tesla altogether, I really thought that there were three things that really make me feel like Tesla is a genius company, and also three things that not so much. So anyway, I know that there's a million things on either side that we could go on about, but again, I just wanted to make this quick video and give you my thoughts of some of the things that I think are really genius about Tesla, and a couple things that I don't really understand why Tesla doesn't do. So let's get started. So again, as a new Tesla owner, and when I say new, I also mean that I don't have any friends with Teslas. I didn't have any experience with Teslas prior to purchasing this one. My first real experience was the test drive itself. So I really didn't have a clue or have any other expectations other than what I read, what I saw on the internet, and all that other stuff. So like most of you, I kind of just went into it with my own ideas of how this was gonna be. So, and here's a few things that I think are just absolutely brilliant, and some not so much. So first, let's start off with the bad. Let's get that out of the way. The first thing that I think that's really interesting that Tesla doesn't have is a heads-up display. As a tech company, I just don't understand that. And especially as like a premium brand, right? That a lot of cars that are at this price point, as well as, just trying to bring that upscale feel, most of them have a heads-up display, and this, or Teslas in general, don't. And this is, again, more about Tesla and not necessarily the Model Y. So again, Teslas do not have a heads-up display. I know that there are aftermarket ways that you can get a heads-up display, kind of, sorta, but all of those kind of clutter up the dash, and I realize that's part of the reason that Tesla doesn't have it, is because it really takes away from the design. And I get that, because I really love this design, the clean feature of it. So maybe, though, my idea is that maybe you could put it in the steering wheel. There are certain steering wheels that have a little small display at the very top, and I think that's really all that you would need. Just right in the center, very top, just miles per hour or kilometers. And again, to give you an idea, other cars like a BMW, they have the you can put the speed up, and then I'll show you here, you can put the speed up as well as the tachometer, and in color, no less. So you have a display of the gear you're in, the speed you're going, and the revs that you're at in color. So when you have cars like that, and then you then come to this and say, well, I can't even tell what speed I'm going unless I look a little over to the right. Again, it's no big deal, but it's just interesting that Tesla has decided not to have that. Again, maybe right in the steering wheel, right at the top. Just an idea, Tesla, if you want to go with it. The second thing that is really interesting that Teslas don't have is the blind spot monitoring system. An indicator of some sort. And I realize that the whole display right in the center, has a lot of information. but just something that would give you a quick glance to let you know that there was something in the blind spot. Maybe something as simple as on either side of the screen, right at the top corner, putting like a little orange or yellow hue on each corner, and make it configurable so that you can go into your menu and you can take it off once you get used to the car and all its other features and looking around at certain things for your blind spots. But as a new owner and new to Tesla, you know, making that transition, I think it would be a lot easier if there was something that was just visually much more immediate. And again, just something as simple as right in the corner of the screen on either side, a little yellow or orange or amber line of some sort or something like that, where you could just tell in an instant that there's something there, you know? And again, make it configurable so that when you actually get used to all the screen features and the cameras and whatnot, you can then turn it off, you know? But I don't know, I think it'd be an interesting feature. And I know that possibly in an update, when we hit the turn signal, maybe that camera will come on and you'll be able to see that view. But again, it's one of those things that I know not everybody always uses their turn signal, or sometimes is just curious if there is something in the blind spot, you know, before they decide to change lanes or something, that maybe just that quick indicator, you know, on the screen would really be helpful. And the last thing that I wish Tesla would do to help out that transition for conventional cars into a Tesla would be maybe one more control, or changing or adapting our current controls so that we could flip through the screen. You know, possibly the scroll would be able to get us from our cameras to the navigation screen, or maybe from the environmental controls to the navigation to the music or whatnot. And again, I'm sure there's a way to make it configurable to where as we roll it, it would go through. That way we don't have to move over to the screen itself, you know, that we could just sit here and toggle through. Like for me, I noticed that I go back and forth from my nav screen to the cameras, you know, and so back and forth, I'm hitting the screen, moving over, looking over here. If I could just have it, I go from one to the other by the scroll button, that'd probably be pretty convenient, you know? So I guess at the end of the day, I'm asking for one more little scroll button so that we can configure it ourselves, like a Make-A-Wish scroll button, to where it's convenient for us personally. We could use it to, again, navigate through the different screens, or have it set to where we go back and forth from our music to whatever. But just one additional button, again, to help the transition from us new guys into the world of Tesla, you know? And I'll show you, like in the Beamer, the BMW is overkill. Look at all the buttons in the BMW. It's absolutely ridiculous. I get it. That's too many. But one more in here, and again, maybe on the steering wheel, I don't think it would hurt the looks too much, you know? But anyway, just an idea, Tesla. So again, those are, I know that there's a million things that Tesla could improve upon, according to some people. But those are just the things that I think that would make the transition much smoother from a conventional car into a Tesla. Now, some of the positive things, some of the things that I just can't believe that the car companies, other car companies haven't tried to incorporate in their current cars. I think some of it is slowly going that way, but these things I think make Tesla a genius. The first thing is one pedal driving. I absolutely love one pedal driving. It becomes, you learn it so fast and it's so intuitive. And after a while, when you get into other cars, you get a little frustrated that you can't do the one pedal driving, you know? And those of you who have Teslas or have driven things that have one pedal driving, let me know. Am I wrong? I just think it's such a convenient way to drive. You know, that's if you're not being aggressive, you're just tooling down the road and doing your thing and, you know, running errands or whatever, but it just seems so convenient. And once you get used to it, you really want other cars to be able to do one pedal driving. And nowadays, I don't know that, I'm sure there's got to be a way to make conventional cars able to do one pedal driving. I know that already regular cars, internal combustion engine cars, have a hold feature at the light, you know, so I'm sure it's possible. Yes, it would probably take more work, but, and electric motors obviously are critical in one pedal driving, but there's got to be a way to do it to make it that easy to drive, you know, because it's cool. The second thing that I think makes Tesla just absolutely genius is the amount of ways to get into your vehicle, or the ways to control, I guess, your vehicle. Obviously the phone, and then there's the key fob. For the Model 3 and the Model Y, you have to purchase that, and it's $150. Don't get me started on that. It's, well, let me just say this. If you don't use the front and the rear hatch all that often, I really don't think it's worth it. Now, if you have like a whole million uses, it's business purposes, you're always going in and out of the front and the back, yeah, I could see where the key fob would be very helpful because it does open it remotely. And, you know, for the back, you can close it remotely. So that's convenient, yes. And I have one, and I'm telling you, I very rarely use this thing. Now, the key card, to me, that is the MVP. The key card is absolutely phenomenal. And the reason for me is that I do a lot of activity. I like to try to be active, and I go to a lot of places, beach, trails, you know, hiking, running, all this stuff. And this has just come through a million times. I can tell you that when I go to the beach or certain parks, I'll see people with their keys hidden on top of the tires, behind their bumpers or something like that. You can always tell and see them. And I know why they do it, because they don't want to carry around something heavy. And this thing is fantastic. It's light, it's thin. You know, you can put this basically anywhere and it doesn't even feel like it's there. And I can tell you, I have gone swimming with this thing. I have washed it a million times and dried it. It has come out bent in half or kind of warped, but it just works every time. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure that this costs like 20 bucks. $20. I don't know anything else in Tesla's history that costs 20 bucks. I don't even think I can get a baseball cap from Tesla for 20 bucks. But the key card is 20 bucks. So, and to give you an idea, my Lexus key, I'll show you a picture of it here. Basic key from 1997, a 1997 Lexus key, cost me $60 to make. What? Anyway, so there you go. The key card, washed and, yeah, heated up, all kinds of nonsense, got dirty, you know, and if you lose it, 20 bucks. You lose a freaking 20-year-old Lexus key and it's going to cost you $60. That's crazy. So, but yeah, just the amount of ways, you know, having your phone, super convenient, but if you don't want to take your phone with you because you're going to go swimming or you're going to get dirty mountain biking or something like that, you take this and it's just awesome. No weight to it, very convenient to store anywhere. It's fantastic. So, genius, Tesla. You know, I'm sure everybody else soon copy that at some point. The last thing that I found really interesting, again, being new to Tesla, was that starting the car just by pressing on the brake. To me, that's just genius. All you gotta do is hit the brake. And I know in a lot of cars, you hit the brake and then you hit the start button. But just not having to hit that start button, just being able to press on the brake and you are ready to go. I just don't know why everybody doesn't do that. You know, honestly, because you got to hit the brakes anyway in most modern cars to start them. So why not have that feature built in? You know, if you have the key fob in, you know, within proximity, and or your key is placed in a certain area or some whatever, that as long as you hit the brakes, your car should start. Genius. And it's one of those things that I've noticed that people get into the car and they do, and they're like, really? It's that simple? And it really is one of those features that's so simple, so basic, but it has like this weird impact on you. It makes you think that it's, I don't know, like futuristic or just a neat feature that kind of draws you in. You know, at least that's what I found. So, but again, that's pretty neat, where you just get in, you hit the brakes, and as long as you have one of the ways, the key, the phone, or the key fob itself, the car is ready to go. I mean, that's fantastic, and it's so simple in its delivery, you know, and it gives such, I think, a big impact on people. So, well played, Tesla. Genius. So, now there is one more feature that I will call her an honorable mention feature that I really is interesting to me, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be on making comments like, yeah, no, it's a terrible feature. And the feature is summons. Now, I don't mean like actually calling the car to me. That has not really worked as well as I had hoped it would in times that I've tried. It's worked sometimes, but not, it's got a long way to go, let's just say that. But I will say this: when you need to move the car a couple feet, and let's say, for example, you're in the garage and you need to move it back, or you need to move it forward, whatever, to make some space to move stuff around, it is absolutely fantastic to not have to get into the car. Or, for those of you who have sports cars, you can relate to this. When you pull up to the curb, or you're worried about ruining the front end because you're going to scrape the curb or the bump stop or something, the curb there, you just park in a safe distance. Then you get out and you look and you're about 2.5 feet away, and it looks like you don't know how to drive. You know, so now you got to get back in the car and move up a couple feet and make sure that you can get back out and check. You know, for you sports car guys, you know what I'm talking about. It's happened. So, but this, if I park far away, I can just use the summons feature and pull it up 1.5 feet. I don't have to get back in the car. Or when I'm washing the car, I'm washing the wheels, I can't get to a certain spot, I'll just move it back maybe even just 6 inches, and I'm able to get to it. It's been really convenient for me, you know. Again, not the actual summons, but just being able to move the car back and forth a couple feet so that I don't have to jump in and out of it has been actually pretty beneficial, you know. Now, again, let me know if you found that as well, that, you know, just being able to move it around in the garage without really having to jump in is good, or being able to just get it out of a really tight spot without having to try to get in through with it, you know, being a contortionist and squeeze in through the door, you know, barely open kind of thing. But yeah, I found it to be a lot more useful than what I imagined it would be. So, well, that's it, guys. You know, I wanted to share with you some of the features that I think are really impactful for someone who's new to Tesla. You know, and again, I know that there's a million of them, and there's a million things that we can hate about it as well, but let me know what you think. Let me know what some of the features that you believe are just fantastic about Tesla, and some of the things that you absolutely hate. And again, more about the driving. We could go on about other issues, service and this and that and all these other things, but the actual performance of the car, you know. But anyway, also, again, I said this in the beginning, if you guys have some products that you're curious about, let me know. I'm shopping right now, and it might be one of the ones that I've forgotten about that I'm interested in, or I'm curious about as well. So, you know, shoot me a comment. Maybe I'll get them. you know, within the next couple days, like I said, I'll be doing some shopping. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again for watching. We will see you on the next video. And remember, go to your car meets, enjoy what you have, and have fun with your mods, guys. Take care.